All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about a really fundamental problem, one that's kind of holding back the entire future of AI. And it's this. Our AI assistants, well, they can't use money. We're going to break down exactly why that is and look at a pretty cool new way of thinking that might just be the solution.
I mean, think about it for a second. Your AI can find you the perfect flight. It can build your entire grocery list. It can even fill out the forms to pay your utility bill. But right at that last second, when it's time to actually pull the trigger and pay, it has to stop and hand the controls back to you. Why? Why can't it finish the job?
Well, it comes down to what the source material calls the agent paradox, and it's a total catch-22. On one hand, you could just give your AI the keys to your bank account or your crypto wallet, but that is a huge risk, right? I mean, one little bug, one mistake, and your account could be drained in seconds. But on the other hand, if you give it no keys, it's basically useless for any real-world automation. It can't complete the tasks we want it to do. It's a deadlock.
So that's the deadlock we're stuck in. To figure out how we can break out of it, we really need to get to the root of the problem, which, it turns out, is the way our digital wallets are designed in the first place.
This right here is the heart of the issue. Our current wallets, they all run on what's called a credential model. Think of your private key or seed phrase like a physical key to your house. That key gives whoever holds it absolute total permission to do anything. The key can understand rules like, hey, only open the door on Tuesdays, or don't let anyone take the TV. It's just all or nothing. And that all-or-nothing model is just completely wrong for what an AI agent needs, which is nuanced, limited authority.
So, if the old lock-and-key model is broken, what's the fix? Well, this brings us to the first big idea in this new system, a concept called Inclave. And the best way to think about it isn't as a lock and key at all, but more like a secure, programmable safe.
Inclave totally flips the script. Instead of credential-based access, handing over the keys, it uses what's called constraint-based execution. And here's the crucial difference. You're not giving control to the AI. You are programming the rules, the constraints, directly into the wallet itself.
And this is where it gets really cool, because look at the kinds of rules you can define. You can tell your wallet exactly what it's allowed to do. Say, pay my electricity bill. You can define when it can do it, only after the official invoice arrives. You can set limits on how much, never more than $150, and you can specify who it can interact with, only pay the verified utility company. This creates something called bounded authority, and it's what lets an agent act safely for you without ever actually having custody of your money.
Okay, so Inclave is the programmable safe. That's piece number one. But how do you actually give an agent the instructions to use that safe? Well, that brings us to the second piece of this puzzle, something called QRC20, which acts like a shareable recipe.
A QRC20 is basically just a standardized instruction card. It's this neat little digital package that contains a complete, automated workflow. And because it's in a super simple, portable format like a QR code or just a web link, it can be shared and understood by any agent on any platform. It's the recipe that tells the agent exactly what to cook and how to do it.
And the structure of this recipe is so simple but really powerful. It's just 4 parts. First, you've got a trigger. That's the event that kicks the whole thing off. Then the execution, the specific steps that need to be taken. Third, the constraints. Those are the safety rules we set up in Inclave. And finally, settlement, which is just how the transaction actually gets finalized. It's a complete end-to-end plan all in one little portable package.
Okay, so we have our 2 main ingredients, the programmable safe, which is Inclave, and the shareable recipe, QRC20. Now, let's put them together and see that aha moment where an AI can finally and safely use money.
The real genius of the system is this separation of roles. Every component has exactly one job to do, and it only does that job. The AI agent? It's just a lookout. Its only job is to watch for events. The QRC20? That's just the instruction manual, the recipe. And Inclave? That's the strict supervisor, the safe, that checks every single action against the rules. Because no single part has too much power. The whole system is secure by design.
So let's walk through it. First, an event happens. Let's say your electricity bill hits your email inbox. The AI agent sees this and grabs the right QRC20 recipe for paying utility bills. That recipe defines exactly what to do. But, and this is the key, before anything actually happens, the instruction is sent to Inclave. Inclave checks everything. Is this the right company? Is the amount under my limit? Is the due date correct? And only if every single rule is met does the execution proceed and the transaction get finalized. It's seamless, it's secure, and it's totally automatic.
And what you get from all this is a really powerful concept called bounded autonomy. Your AI agents are given the freedom, the autonomy, to go out and do things on your behalf. But they can never, ever step outside the boundaries, the rules that you've programmed into the system. It's really the best of both worlds, automation without the catastrophic risk. Now, solving this wallet deadlock, it isn't just some small technical fix. It's the key that could unlock an entirely new agent economy. So let's zoom out for a minute and explore what that could actually look like. First off, you get true autonomous commerce. Imagine AI agents that can actually manage your financial life for you, paying your subscriptions, booking your travel, automatically reordering your supplies, even making investments for you, all without you having to manually approve every single little thing.
Second, this makes programmable finance reality. Your money is no longer just sitting there passively, it becomes active. You could set a rule like, hey, if this particular stock drops by 10%, automatically buy $500 worth. And the system just does it. Instantly. You don't have to lift a finger.
Third, this whole thing signals a massive shift to what's called intent-based execution. Right now, we have to tell our apps how to do everything. Click this button, enter this info, confirm that screen. With this, you just state your intent, your desired outcome. Book me a flight to Miami for next Tuesday. And the agent figures out all the boring steps in between. And finally, the result of all this is what you could call a collapse of friction. All that time we waste switching between apps, logging in, confirming our identity over and over again, all those little bottlenecks that make digital life so annoying, they just start to disappear, making everything feel seamless.
So to really sum it all up, this is the big transition we're talking about. We're moving away from the old wallet, which is just a passive digital box that only reacts when you manually tell it to do something, and moving to a new system that is active, that's programmable, and that is automatically driven by events happening in the world around us.
In the end, it really all comes down to this one powerful idea from the source material. Inclave is what makes money programmable, and QRC20 is what makes that programmability portable. You put those two things together, and you don't just get a better wallet. You might just get a brand new foundation for a world run by AI.